Please permit me to welcome in our midst His Excellency Senator Abaribe, Chairman Senate Committee on Information and former Deputy Governor of Abia State. Sir, you're most welcome. Well, Labaran Mabu has told me that he's here, so let us listen to him. He has been listening to others, so let's listen to what he is able to do in his own sector. Honorable Minister of Information.
Let me begin by welcoming my friend, our colleague, His Excellency Senator Abaribe, who was the former Deputy Governor of Abia State and is now Chairman Senate Committee on Information. Distinguished Senator, you are welcome to this platform. We appreciate your presence on behalf of other members of the committee. We are still expecting the House Chairman of Committee, Honorable Architect Buba. He may come before the end of the presentation. Now, I'll begin by thanking and congratulating my colleague. She has acquitted herself creditably. You can see what the defense sector has been doing under her stewardship. We appreciate you. We appreciate all the armed forces and all those working with you to keep this country secure. Now, today we are also discussing the Ministry of Information. For the past 3 weeks or so, I have been here with you, with my colleagues, explaining what they have done in their sectors. When I stood up earlier on, I said maybe the Minister of Information doesn't have to say anything new, because the volume of information that has been going out to the nation through this platform and all the other platforms are evidence of the work we have tried to do in the Ministry of Information. But I will begin by saying that the Federal Ministry of Information is one of the oldest ministries in the Federal Republic. It's as old as Nigeria. And this ministry, which is specifically set up to create a platform of dialogue between the government of Nigeria and its people, is very, very important for governance. But I'll begin by making this statement, that there are two most difficult jobs in Nigeria, very difficult jobs. The first, and I believe most difficult job in this country, is the job of the national football coach. And the second most difficult job for Nigeria is the job of the Minister of Information. These two jobs, everybody is an expert except those who are appointed to handle it. When Nigeria is playing, everybody, why is this so? Why is Keshi not fielding this person? Why is this one playing like this? The audience know the answer more than the coach. The same thing happens in the Ministry of Information. Because this job makes whoever is appointed the face of the nation, the face of the government, the voice of the government and of the people of Nigeria. There are people who just simply hate you, maybe because they don't want the man on the seat. So, in doing this job for the period that God has given me, I want to thank God Almighty for sustaining me and making it possible for me to continuously create this platform of dialogue between the government and the people of Nigeria. I would also want to thank His Excellency the President, because it's not easy managing your Minister of Information. There is no story you don't hear every day. Every little thing that happens, people will come and tell you, oh, if this has been done, this would have been like this. But the president didn't only give me the confidence to do this job for him and the country. He has continued to support me, and he has continued to show confidence by giving support to all the programs and activities of the Federal Ministry of Information. We sincerely thank him for this confidence. I would also want to thank particularly the two chairmen in the National Assembly. The chairman, Senate Committee on Information, who is personally here to show the kind of support we have enjoyed from them. And the chairman, House Committee, my brother, Honorable Architect Buba, and of course a graduate of Unijos who are there together. The two and their colleagues, all of them, have given us solid support. They have worked with us to keep this sector going and to keep this country moving. We thank you and we appreciate you. But the truth of the work we do here is that I'm only the spokesperson. The real people that do the work are my own directors, the permanent secretary and the directors. They are the ones that do the daily organization of the work, the information we dish out to people. For the permanent secretaries that have served with me and the directors, whatever you see as our successes reflect what they have done to ensure that we succeed as a sector. I will also reserve special thanks to the heads of agencies, the directors general of all our parastatals, NTA, FRCN, Voice of Nigeria, NAN, and the regulatory agencies such as the Nigerian Press Council, Film and Video Censors Board, the Advertisers Practitioner Council of Nigeria, National Broadcasting Commission. All of them do the critical work that keep this sector going and regulate as well as dish out information. So we work here as a team. So whatever I'm going to tell you, I am only the spokesperson of the group. But this team has made our work possible. Now, as I proceed, let me say that in the last 2 years, we have redefined the mandate of the Ministry of Information, because when I came on board, we saw the need to redefine the mandate in order that we'll be able to bring on board all the achievements of the global information age. And I want to reflect that on board for the audience to follow the new mandate of the Ministry of Information. It is to lead the management of the image and reputation of the people and government of Nigeria through a professional dynamic public information system that facilitates access by citizens and the global community to credible and timely information about Nigeria. So you see, the philosophy has been redefined. Before, the Ministry of Information was seen as a place where press statements are issued, where governments talk at people. We have had to redefine this mandate to say that it is about managing the reputation of the government and people of Nigeria. So the Minister of Information is not just the spokesman of the government of Nigeria. He is the spokesperson of the government and people of Nigeria, no matter where they are located, at home and abroad. I therefore see my position as managing the reputation and image of our country and facilitating a dialogue between government and people so that together our country can look better both before ourselves and before the rest of the world. And the vision has been to enable a dynamic and participatory public information system that fosters and sustains the overall growth and development of the country and its people. Now, one of the challenges of a Minister of Information is, particularly in democracy, is to have the right attitude to what democracy does. With all respect to our fine military officers that are seated before us. Military rule, as we saw in this country, the leaders and the military governors had their mandate from the appointing head of state. They didn't stand for election. Maybe they participated in a coup or were related to the prime figure at the top. And so all they needed to do was to pay loyalty to the man at the top, and then their job will be done well below. But under a democracy which is driven from below, where people are elected, where the citizens matter, where the country can change until you change the people, until attitudes change, there is no way you can run information by merely issuing out jingles and talking at people. You must create an atmosphere of participation so that the people will speak to their leaders will speak to them, they will discuss problems, progress and challenges, and accept that there are ways we can improve if there are those ways. Democracy is the joint work of the people and their leaders. And so I've had to redefine the way the Ministry of Information works by ensuring that the process of information dissemination, the process of information gathering, the process of ensuring that the people dialogue with their leader is participatory. This is the only way Nigerians could be brought on board, and this is the only way the government can carry the people along. So that the redefinition of our mandate and mission has been exactly because we believe the philosophy of this ministry should change. And in the last 3 years, I boldly say that we have changed the way the Ministry of Information works by bringing the people of Nigeria to participate in our programs. Now, we have the parastatals of the ministry. The idea, I don't want to go through them because that people stood in long, winding lines across the country to vote for the president. Now, that type of high popularity and people support has its problems. The major problem is that the moment such a popular leader is elected, people think the problems will disappear overnight. So there was high expectation. People were thinking that immediately the election was done, all the problems would disappear. So we had to really prepare ourselves, because at the same time that the president was popular, the president inherited a country with several challenges. The economy was working, but was in need of deep reforms. Key social sectors were in need of really reactivating them. Power, education, transportation. Almost every sector that the president inherited was in need of deep reforms. So this president that was a popular president must necessarily be a reformer if he was to take Nigeria from one stage to another. And we also do know in the ministry that reformers are not popular. Reformers all over the world, from Singapore to any other country you go, leaders that inherit difficult problems and must confront them. Once they come to power and define their transformation agenda and place the problems of reforms, the same people will rise against them. This is how it happens all over the world. So we expected that as the president implements his difficult reforms in the oil sector, in the power sector, in the education sector, in the transport sector, in the general economy, he will not be popular in the beginning. And that itself is a big challenge for us in the Ministry of Information. We had to prepare to confront the backlash that people generally will have towards reforming leaders. Then also we inherited other difficulties. When you look at the Nigerian print media particularly, you will find that we have done a great job in this industry. Very great job. But the truth of the matter is that because we operate in a partisan environment, journalism itself today is very passionate. And so politicization also goes in. And because of that, we had challenges of how we will convince everybody to look beyond partisanship to report the nation as we should report it. So that again was another challenge we had. Now the other challenge which we had in the ministry, which had a heavy overdose of negativity on the image of our nation, was the incident of Boko Haram and associated violence across the country. And let me tell you, one of the most difficult aspects of the job I have done here has been how this nation will respond to the incidents of internal insurrection, terrorism, and criminality. Because for the average citizen, no matter what the government does every day for his welfare, so long as those bombs explode and he sees those on the television screen and pages of newspapers, the government is no good. Nothing the government does can take his attention. And in the last 2 years, we have done so much and said so much with very average understanding, because the people are always looking at those images of violence on the screen of television. And all that is blamed on the president, who himself had nothing to do with it other than managing it. We will come back to that. So the challenge of violence has been one of the ones that damaged the image of Nigeria all over the world. People are not seeing the new power plants. People are not seeing the dredging of the Niger. People are not seeing the new things we have had from ministries here. What you hear abroad is a statement issued by Boko Haram or UN building bombed. And so those were the things that were taking the attention of the world. So that was a challenge for us. In the midst of these negatives, how do we project the image of our country, secure its unity, and get the people to support their government and government to work with its people? So there were several of these challenges which we inherited as we came on board. There was also the unfortunate Dana crash, which incensed Nigerians against anything the government was saying. So all these are not the making of the government, but there are things that we must adjust in this ministry to prepare ourselves to. Added to all this are the difficulties of running a democracy. Because a democracy, the leader at the top, it is the most difficult job you can do. Because here, you have now a new federal arrangement that is constitutional. Power is dispersed across institutions. The parliament must do its work, and it doesn't have to take orders from the president. The judiciary must do its work. It doesn't have to take orders from the executive. Neither does the executive take orders from those other levels of government. In addition to this, other national institutions must also do their work, sometimes very independently of the leader. All the state governments are all virtually autonomous. Nobody can dictate how a governor does his job in this country except his own House of Assembly and his own institutions. So this together means that power is dispersed, and in the era of partisanship, what it means is that a democracy does not go in one line. It goes in several lines. Sometimes there is infighting, sometimes there are these difficulties, and particularly for me as Minister of Information, I can tell you that most of the time you have challenges more from even those that come within the ruling party of the government in power. So because the country is diverse, interests are different, and that tells a lot on what happens, how the polity works. And in the last 2 years, you will notice that there has been a lot of politics. A lot of politics, and all these sometimes affect the image of the nation. The last thing I will mention as the background was that after the 2011 elections, unfortunately for us, because that election was so smooth, was so nice, and the world was saying, yes, Nigeria has arrived. But unfortunately, it was greeted by violence. People were killed. And so the hangover was more the outcome of the violence rather than the free and fair election that took place. That again limited the image of the nation, the confidence of the government, and what we would have done. So all these are the background to which we have tried to redefine the work of the Ministry of Information. So for us to proceed, we designed a strategic communication plan for Nigeria. My colleagues and I, in consultation with all the stakeholders, we designed a strategic communication plan. How are we going to take all this into account? How are we going to respond under these circumstances? That plan is what we have been implementing. And that plan took into account our duty here to the government, our duty to the people, our duty to national institutions, our duty in the place of insecurity. What can we do from this ministry? So you will see that what we are going to report to you is how we have been able to implement this plan. And part of the plan was handling the insecurity, because insecurity posed a threat to the unity of the country. And without a focused, highly imaginative Ministry of Information, you can have mishap. You will see people fighting all over the country. We had to manage the conversation to keep the fight between the government, the people of Nigeria, and the terrorists, because the terrorists wanted a fight between us and each other, but we returned the fight between the nation and them. So we will see how we're able to tackle this as I make this presentation to you. So therefore, the strategic communication plan of government was what we had to do. Now, under this plan, we designed certain platforms and directions for selling government and ensuring that our country remains stable. Now, one of those that we did was to bring in new innovations, one of which is this ministerial platform. The ministerial platform was designed because as minister, I was convinced beyond that because of my long engagement in politics for a long time, that the problem of Nigeria is governance. That once you fix governance and increase the quality of the way we do our work in our various institutions, this country will move forward and most of the problems will come down. So we decided to focus on governance and using the campaign for governance to also sell what government is doing to the people and explain what we are doing. So we had to create platforms. Those platforms include the ministerial platform. Now this ministerial platform was designed by us and we got the support of Mr. President, who went through it line by line and approved that it be tabled in the Federal Executive Council early last year. It was tabled, we debated, and we thought it was important that if we are going to carry the people along, every person that has a responsibility in this country, we must speak to the people. You must account for the position the President has given you. You must account, you must explain what you do every day in your ministry, in your agency. Now that accountability process, in my opinion, was going to achieve several results. The first thing it will achieve is that it will place all of us here on our feet, that we are here to deliver on certain things and we must deliver. Number two, it will create healthy competition between ministries and MDAs. When you see how my colleagues have performed on this platform since last year, you know that there is silent rivalry and competition going on about every minister doing their jobs. That healthy rivalry and competition has improved the quality of governance, because you know that when you come here you must have something to tell people. If you have nothing to tell people, you are on your own and you are being watched all over the world. so the people are assessing you. The people are assessing you. So what this platform was designed to achieve was to get public officers on their feet, was to increase accountability of officers to the people, because we have come off a long way. When things don't work, people think it's the president. If people don't clean their streets, they think it's the president. If people have their Market Square dirty, it's the president. No! People have responsibilities for which they must discharge. The president is only the coordinator. Failure and success depends on the quality of officers and their commitment to their job. And this platform was designed to ensure that that commitment is not only there but transparently measured by the people of Nigeria. So the ministerial platform started last year, and through this platform, ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria has seen a new revolution in management of public information. That is what this platform has achieved for our country. The volume of information we have unleashed in the system, because the platform which you have seen is not only that every minister has come here. In fact, this year the president has directed that agencies of government that are performing very critical services to the country should also come and account to the people. So designed to improve the quality of governance as well as offer information to the people of Nigeria. But the quality of the platform is not just what we have told people, but what people have said back to us. And that's why in this platform, we have placed it live on social media so that Nigerians abroad and at home can follow us. So what have we done? The platform is on all the social media networks. We're on YouTube, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on our website. We are on every social media streaming live, in addition to all the television networks and radio networks to which we advertise this platform, and people are participating from all over the world. So this platform has increased the level of participation of Nigerians in their own governance. And this was what we intended to achieve, to get Nigerians to participate so that we can get those ideas that only they can offer. So the ministerial platform, which again, this is the second edition, has shown clearly that in this country, we can do things differently. And by designing this platform, I believe that we have started something that will be difficult to be stopped by governments in future. Because the way people follow us, let me tell you, on this platform, it is the most watched is the most listened to program in Nigeria as today. There is no program going on in the country with the following that we receive anywhere. Now companies are saying that they would like to advertise on the platform because they want to reach audiences. And because of the level of participation, the national following, the global following on the platform, we are considering that from the next edition, God sparing our lives, we will introduce private sector adverts because they want to reach their audiences and maybe make money to pay back the television services that we now pay from government treasury. So we will be introducing the capacity to raise money from the private sector to this platform so that it will be self-financing. We can do the platform with a profit. This is what we would profit for government, because when those adverts come, they will definitely pay because of the audience. We will raise money and at the end of it return something to the government treasury. That is the new innovation that we are going to bring aboard on this platform. So in addition to the platform, last year I told Nigerians that one of the difficulties we have is that our people are cynical. They are cynical because governments have disappointed them so much in the past that they no longer want to believe anything. When you say government is doing this, is it true? We have only heard it on radio. Is it true? Because in the past there were so many disappointments. So what have we done? We told you last year that in addition to the reports we are receiving from ministers, we will go to the field to verify those projects through a national good governance store. So the second platform we created for participatory dissemination of information was the National Good Governance Store. Let me say that this store, to repeat, was designed by the Minister of Information, the Minister of National Planning, and the Office of the Special Advisor to the President on Performance Monitoring. When we finished the design, we took it to the Federal Executive Council. We got the approval. Then the President directed that we should also incorporate all the states, because the government, the truth of the matter is that in the federation, the federal government is a service provider. The federal government does not have its own constituency different. We do not have separate citizens. So for us to succeed to run in the federal government, we must collaborate with states. And therefore we decided that we should bring all the 36 states on board. We tabled the plan before them at the National Economic Council. I want to repeat for all Nigerians listening, because there have been some political criticism of the platform, which is expected, because as it moves out, partisanship may creep in. But the truth was that we started with the approval of all the 36 governors. There was no single governor that opposed it when I tabled it before the National Economic Council. All of them supported. And also created another committee that verified all the programs and included their own insights and amendments. So the National Good Governance Store is the program of all the 36 states and the federal government, which is the truth. Now the third took place, started out in September last year. I can tell you that as Minister of Information, there is nothing that I have done in my life that is more difficult, more strenuous. If I didn't embark on this tour, I will not be speaking with the same confidence I speak today. Because I embarked on this tour, I was able to verify the projects that Mr. President is doing throughout this country under the transformation agenda. I was able to see the quality of work that was going on. I was able to see that my colleagues are not just talking in the federal executive and on this platform. So we went on tour. We started with FCT, and I would like us to maybe go through some of those pictures of the projects we saw. In the FCT, which we started, we discovered that so much was being done. In this city, for example, until I went out, people didn't know that there was a railway project going on in the city. Not because government didn't announce it, but people still didn't believe. So we physically went to see the progress of work that was being done for the Abuja Light Rail, which will go through this city and bring down the cost of transportation for the masses. So we visited the Abuja Light Rail. We saw the progress of work that was going on. All the money for the project has been secured by government, and it's expected that in the next 2 years or so, the project will be completed. We went and we verified. Work is going on. We saw the new water treatment plant, which has now been completed, and which will give this city 20 million liters of water per hour, per day. Together with the 10 existing ones, this city will be having 30 million liters of water supplied to FCT and its satellite towns. We saw them. We saw the roads that are being constructed. We saw the airport road, the outer expressway. We saw the progress of work that was going on in those places. And we saw, everything we saw in this city show the volume of work that government was doing. And the physical examination was to ensure that ministers and all of us and also officers that are working in the field know that we will be coming. If they don't know anybody will be coming, they will slack. So the tour of FCT unleashed so much information. We also saw the private sector initiative, the World Trade Center going on by the airport road. $2 billion private sector investment is going to be the largest infrastructure in the city. Work is going on there. From here, we went to all the North Central states. And you will be seeing, as we went through the North Central states, the kind of work we saw. Let me tell you, we went to Kainji, we went to all the power plants in Niger State. You will notice that the moment we started with Kwara, the first thing we saw was that the railway had returned to life and people were not believing what the government was telling them. So what did we do? If you will show the picture, we had to physically ride on the train between Ilori and Ofa with the Minister of Transport. And we didn't go into any selected coach for leaders. No, we went right with the masses in their own coaches. If you look at the ovation we saw by Nigeria that have missed train transportation for more than 20 years. Now today, the train services are working again from Lagos to Kano regularly, in addition to the inner city train services in Lagos, in Ibadan, between Kaduna and Zaria, between Mina, Kano and Mina, Kaduna and Kano. All these services are going on. So we had to go to show Nigerians that this is what has happened. So we also saw a number of projects that are delivered by state governments. For example, the aviation school in Kwara, managed by the state government. It's a good school. We saw it. We saw students. It has added to our national capacity. We saw agricultural projects. We saw irrigation programs across the states. What we also saw, when we left, we went to Jos. We saw stadia operated. In fact, in Plateau State, part of the tour history is that there were many governors that were doing a great job and people didn't even know about them. The tour showed me that those who are seen more on the pages of newspapers and television, they do the list. Most of the governors that are working, you don't hear of them until you go to their states. And we were amazed what we saw, for example, in Plateau State, in Ebonyi State, in Anambra State, in Kebbi State. We saw rice farms in Kebbi that stretch interminably for kilometers across 12 local governments. This year alone, because of the rice farms in Kebbi, the rice farms in Bakolori, and what is happening in Ebonyi and other places, government harvested more than 1.1 million metric tons of rice in this nation in the last year. So the new agricultural program, we saw it live. So I want to tell Nigerians that the tour was an eye-opener and we showed those programs live. One other thing we saw, which I think is unique for the people to see, was the dredging of River Niger. Now, in the 1950s, we promised to dredge the Niger to connect the north through river transportation. We never succeeded until the late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua of blessed memory and President Goodluck Jonathan came to power. They promised to dredge the Niger, but many people did not believe it. So we went on the National Good Governance Tour. What did we see? We saw that the Niger had been dredged already from Warri up to Baro, and barges are already using the Niger to deliver goods and services to northern part of Nigeria. Because of that, the cost of construction on some of the government major projects in North Central have come down, which is the truth now. We also saw that Onitsha Port was completed. We saw work on Ugota River Port in Imo State. We saw work at Baro Port in Niger State. Now the work that has been done in dredging the Niger has opened a corridor to upgrade the facility of transportation for the people of Nigeria, increase economic activities. This again is what we saw during the National Good Governance Tour. Now one other thing we saw was power projects. For a long time, so long as power has not stabilized, people will not believe the work that we are doing. So what did we do? We had to physically visit power projects, and I want to show some of them. Now, during the National Good Governance Tour, in most of the power projects, we organized live television shows. We went to Abia, we went to Alaoji Power Plant. About now, this month, July, it will produce power for the entire Aba area and the surrounding places. Now, Geometric is a private power plant, and it is ready to give Nigeria electricity. We went to Sapele, it is completed. It's already giving Nigeria electricity. We went to Omoku, in Rivers. We went to Dupani in Calabar. These are new power plants. We went to Ehoba in Benin. Now, these are new power plants, brand new, being built by the government of Nigeria. Now, what I want to tell Nigerians is that, yes, power has not stabilized. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of work in power is going on, including the complete change of transmission infrastructure. So we had to go around to sell this to the people of Nigeria. And let me, on behalf of the Ministry of Information and all those participating on the tour, really congratulate us for the difficult job that we have had to do. But in spite of what we have done, we have only gone through 19 states. This is the difficulty. We have only gone through 19 states. We still have 17 states outstanding. And when we went through also, we saw the Army Rehabilitation Program. We saw some of your barracks. We went to some of your schools that had been rehabilitated by the Presidential Committee. Very good job in many of the barracks. And we saw quite a number of military facilities that have been done. So the tour is a verification to show the people of Nigeria that this is what government is doing. So we want to thank all the stakeholders, the governors, my colleagues in the Federal Executive Council, and particularly the NUJ and civil society for following us on the tour. It was an eye-opener. You will see the stadium in Rivers. You will also see the Olympic-sized stadium in Jos being built by state governments completely. You will see the flyover in Oyo. In Oyo, for example, we saw the first underground irrigation project in Africa. If you go to the city of Uyo today in Akwa Ibom State, the city that sits in the swamps is clean. All the surface water goes underground. And the underground sewage and drainage system in Akwa Ibom is the first of its type in West Africa. Now, these are some of the examples of the good things we saw. We also saw the e-library, which is also the first of its type in West Africa, that can receive about 70 million, you can have access to 70 million books and references, also built here. So a lot of things are happening in the country, and the purpose of the National Good Governance Tour was to bring all of them out for the people of Nigeria to see. The last thing about the National Good Governance Tour is the People's Forum, the Citizens Forum. That forum in all the states we visited was held, and citizens participated actively, more than what we are doing here. And once you go on the National Good Governance Tour, the entire state, the attention is with us. Everybody, all the institutions, all the media, the entire people of the state. And that was the best way for the federal government to explain its policies and also get a feedback for governors to explain what they were doing. And the National Good Governance Tour and the Citizens Forum has improved the quality of outreach to the people of Nigeria and their participation in the process of governance. So also in the course of the tour, some contracts were revoked. People thought that the tour was just maybe some who would like to criticize it was a jamboree. Certainly it is not. What happened was that in the course of this tour, some federal projects whose contractors were misbehaving, we revoked them. The Wamba Bokos Road is a case in question. The contractor got the job as far back as 2007, got mobilization and disappeared from the site. He was not doing the job. And then because we are out, every contractor is sitting up, because they know that government will come and will show you on TV what you have done or failed to do. We'll show you everywhere on the social media. This has helped to push people to work harder. And you can see Ore Road, one of the most beautiful roads now, which was never there, which had gone into state of disrepair. You went to Ore Road, you see it now. you can put your mat on the road and sleep there because of the beauty of that road. So this is the kind of work that has been going on, and I assure the people of Nigeria that this is just 2 years. This is just 2 years. What we have been showing you on this platform, as well as on the National Good Governance Corps platform, are just mid-term reports of the president. Work of 2 years. 2 years. And I want to challenge any government in Nigeria that has been able to do what we have done in 2 years to stand up and be counted. And I say so because when the president unveiled his mid-term report, even people who had not read it, for partisan reasons, they just started condemning us. We have been asking, where is their own mid-term report? If you criticize what the federal government has said, we want to know your own. Place your own on the table. So because of the things we have done in 2 years, and if you give us another 2 years, because you can't even judge a man who has a 4-hour exam by just 2 hours. We have just written what 2 hours will permit us. We still have 4 hours to write the remaining questions. So therefore, I want to assure Nigerians that honestly, our country has recorded so much. Our country has recorded so much in this period, and my duty as Minister of Information was to let Nigerians know, so that you do not despair, so that you do not just hear partisanship and conclude that government is not working. It's not true. There is partisan criticism, there is objective criticism. We welcome those criticisms, but as politicians, we are not afraid. We are confident because this team that has been set up by the president is working, and Nigeria definitely is moving forward. So from the National Good Governance platform, we also design regular government publicity. This is done daily. I don't want to go through them. The regular publicity is what we do every day through NTA, through Voice of Nigeria, through NAN. As minister, I have had to devise special programs with the ministries to offer citizens greater opportunity. Ministers now have 30 minutes weekly on FRCN to further speak to the people. We have coordinated these platforms, gotten ministers to appear on Newsline and all the other programs. NAN Forum, all of us appear, and we use it to sell government. NAN SM service also reports daily what we do in government and in the private sector. So these are some of the things that we have been doing. We report the activities of the Federal Executive Council to you every week. But the briefing I give is not only in English. When I finish, I go to the Hausa service, to all the Hausa network, international networks. We explain the position of Nigeria on everything. So it's the content of what we do on a regular basis are there. I will not want to waste your time going through those ones. Then, within this period, we managed to get the Freedom of Information Act passed by the National Assembly. Let me congratulate the Chairman, Senate Committee, and all other members for passing the Freedom of Information Act into law. That has again opened up Nigeria, created open governance for everybody. But in partnership with the Ministry of Justice, we have been moving from just enacting it to getting it popularized and utilized by the citizens. So we have been doing quite some training, popularizing it with NUJ and stakeholders through the Nigerian Press Council, directly with the Ministry of Information and in partnership with the Ministry of Justice. We are ensuring that we create a platform to ensure that civil servants know what the content of Freedom of Information Act is, journalists know, members of the public know. And what it says is that a citizen can come and ask for information from you, a public officer. You are obliged to give if it is within the schedule allowed by the Freedom of Information Act. If you don't, they can go to court and compel you to bring out that information. And if you lie in court, you can go to jail. So this is how serious it is. And the president brought this on board because we want this country to be open. We want to stop corruption. We want to stop show practices. We want government activities to be open to the people. So we are working on the Freedom of Information Act to ensure that we get our people to work. Now, I will not want to move without telling you the revolutionary work we have done in using the social media. Before we came here, the social media was hardly ever used by the government to disseminate information. Now we noticed that since 2001, when the mobile telephone revolution helped to happen in Nigeria and the internet, today the population of internet users alone in Nigeria has moved to about 48 million people. 48 million Nigerians are on the internet, more than the population of South Africa. That is the truth. Today, our people on the net, utilizing are more than the population of South Africa. So how can government cut off these people? So disseminating information today is different from the past. You can issue press statements, but not many people may not read it. Because today even newspapers are online, radios are online, TV online. And so young people are on Facebook, they're on Twitter, they are on YouTube. So what have we done? We have decided to make sure the Ministry of Information takes the lead in utilizing social media to sell government to the people and get their feedback. Today, in just between these 2 years, this ministry today has the highest capacity on a daily basis in terms of the people visiting us, in terms of young Nigerians across the world, monitoring the activities of government and what is happening in Nigeria. The Ministry of Information is now in the front lead, and we are the most successful sector utilizing the social media today for public information dissemination and management. This has been acknowledged by even our critics. Everything you are doing here is going on live on all the social media platforms. All the presentations from last year, you can refer to them. You can still go to YouTube and find out what the minister said last year and what he's saying this year. All of them are there. Few minutes after you leave here, all our presentation will be on YouTube, will be on Facebook, everywhere. Everybody will follow. You can refer back to us in future. You don't have to come back to the ministry to say on the internet. You can go there and refer to it in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years. And because of this, we have found the social media so useful. I can tell you that between May last year and now, some months we have over 1.5 million people visiting our sites on a daily basis. That is how popular the social media have come. And my social media team, I want to congratulate you. I think you should all stand up to be counted. Social media team. DT, Fodio, and all the rest of them. Yes. Honestly, they have brought a new revolution to this place, and we are grateful that what this team has done for Nigeria is that we have taken the front lead now in ensuring that the social media is not just something for people to play games, but that it can be used as an instrument for information dissemination. So you can reach government more now through the social media than newspapers. Newspapers have very few circulation. No newspaper is circulating more, up to 200,000 copies. Hardly will you have papers circulating 300, 500 in Nigeria. But social media platforms, one moment you have millions of people already visiting us. This is where we are. So we have turned social media into a vehicle for conveying information and data to the people of Nigeria. I therefore want to congratulate us. You will see the details are contained in the social media reports. Now, for our parastatals, when I came on board, we all agreed we need to move better. What we have done under this period with our parastatals, particularly NTA, FRCN, Voice of Nigeria, News Agency of Nigeria, because they are the vehicles for public information dissemination. For NTA, we are moving steadily for digitization through the Star Times NTA partnership. The terrestrial transmission has started in more than 18 states in partnership between the NTA and the Star Times. We have set the basis for digitization using that platform. And in the process of this, we are now reaching millions and millions of Nigerians. And we have also created thousands of jobs through this program. So it is moving very well. we have acquired new OB vans, which have enabled the NTA instantaneously to do things live across the country under this period. Those OB vans have been commissioned and they are now giving NTA excellent reach in its programs. The NTA has also completed about 30 new community stations, and we have employed close to 750 new people this period to handle the new community NTA stations. So we are also working on our programs. For the FRCN, we have also completed new stations and have introduced new programs on FRCN to increase the reach of the station. Our greatest story in terms of reach is from the Voice of Nigeria under this period. The Voice of Nigeria only last year commissioned Africa's #1 transmitters, because the first of its type, with rotatory transmitters. The superpower transmitters installed at Lugbe Road, at Lugbe along Airport Road, have now enabled the Voice of Nigeria to perform at the same level with BBC, Voice of America, and other international radio stations. We can reach any part of the world simultaneously with any signal today, and we are also online, and it is digital. So that has been done. We have also commissioned new studios, and of course there are new radio stations that are waiting commissioning in several parts of the country, including Katsina, including KB, and other places. We'll be commissioning them between now and October. So we'll build those and ensure that we're doing serving Nigerians with fresh information. NAN has been one area that we have done so much. Today, NAN is the first news agency of choice in this continent. It's able to disseminate more information than any other news agency in Africa. It has set up regional stations in strategic parts of the world. Today, it has moved from text only to a multimedia platform. It now sends video, it sends photographs. They service both television stations and radio stations. About 30 to 40% of all radio station programs, private or public in Nigeria, are on because NAN is here to serve them. Let me congratulate the News Agency of Nigeria for the great job they have done in this period. Of course, because of time constraint, let me say that in addition to these four agencies I've mentioned, the regulatory agencies are doing a great job. The Broadcasting Commission, the National Broadcasting Commission, which regulates the broadcasting industry, has acquired new equipment to monitor everything broadcast in Nigeria, whether on television or radio. We have stationed this equipment to make sure that not only do we not allow illegal signals to enter our country, but that what we broadcast is fit for public consumption. The regulatory capacity of NBC has improved because of new facilities and diligence in their work. Now, the other agency that regulates is the Video Censors Board. All the films produced in the country, we have acquired new equipment. They are all edited and censored, because sometimes we have pornographic materials, sometimes we have material that are harmful for the public. All those we are doing diligently. Now, for the Advertisers Practitioner Council of Nigeria, which regulates adverts, they have done a great job in recent times, and I can tell you that not only have they increased their capacity, they just recently unveiled a new advertisers code for the industry. And today we are checking harmful adverts, and some of those adverts that advertise cure for everything in the world, you will see that they are coming down. Where they are running to now is the telecom companies, who are also going to reach there. We will expand our reach to those places. The idea is to use the advert industry to boost commerce, but also to stop harmful practices. So they have done a lot of work, and I want to congratulate the Advertisers Practitioner Council for keeping on top of regulation in that sector. Now, the Film Corporation, I will not close without talking about Nollywood. Nollywood is the greatest single story this country has told the world in the last 20 years. And let me say that our young men and women have not only sold the image of our country, they have placed our country on the global map and grown this industry from the backwaters to be the #2 biggest single film industry in the world. earning billions and billions for Nigeria every year. What have we done? What we have done is to continue to provide support. The president gave 200 million, which is sitting with the Bank of Industry. We have already tabled before the Federal Executive Council reforms that will reorganize the industry and enable the film makers to access this money. But we have also in the interim connected them with Smeldan to give money, seed money to small-scale producers, and we are supporting them by organizing film festivals in this country, enabling them to attend film festivals all over the world to promote our film industry. Between now and next year, we will return to the industry and ensure that the existing reforms that we have tabled before the Federal Executive Council are passed, so that this industry that has done so much for this country will be in the front league in terms of quality, in terms of reach, in terms of the popularity of our films, and of course, we want to earn money. We also want to warn those people who go to China to duplicate our films and bring them illegally and deny the filmmakers their own intellectual property and rights, that we are going to come after you. We definitely come after you. Intellectual property theft in the film industry is very high. It is frustrating producers. So we are working, and definitely by the time we come out with our rules, whoever is doing that, and some of them are big time people who go, they have a lot of money. I can tell you that when we are set, we will catch them, we will try them until they stop what they are doing. The film industry is the biggest capacity to bring up young people and sell our country. When I went to Kenya, the ambassador of one of the countries, I don't want to mention names, he said, "You are a Nigerian?" I said, "Yes." He said, "In the evening in my country, if we do not cook early, before 6, our children will all be out watching Nigerian films." I said, "Thank you very much." This time they're no longer watching Hollywood. They are watching African film with an African culture and story to tell. That is what that industry has done. So I congratulate all our actors and all of us who have worked in this area to ensure that we do a great job for the country. Now, finally, I have just 10 minutes recollection of what we did in the field. It's not a story. Some of the pictures, some of the things we saw in the field, I would like them to be shown to you. But I will not want to conclude this without first thanking Nigerians, without first thanking my colleagues in the media industry, all of them, newspaper editors, television people, everywhere. The media industry is Nigeria's strongest arm. It has done well for this country. Journalists have done well. Some of them have died in the course of their jobs. I want to thank the NUJ president, Mohammed Garba, who also recently was elected as the president of all African journalists, because of his commitment. I want to thank him. I want to thank the Guild of Editors. I want to thank the Newspaper Proprietor Association of Nigeria. I want to thank the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria for their partnership and their support. Why do I say so? There is nothing I can do as Minister of Information if the media do not support the image of the country. Yet there are areas we can improve, but we're doing a great job. Those improvements will come. And let me then remind Nigerians finally that the image of a country is the sum total of the behavior of their leaders and people and the performance of its institutions. So all of you have a role to play. When you kidnap, you are bringing the image of Nigeria down. When you are a terrorist, you are bringing the image of Nigeria down and harming its own economy. When you go out of this country and run down the country in conferences, you are not just criticizing anybody here, you are running the image of your country down. We run a Made in Nigeria campaign. It is also promoted by how you patronize your country. Today, I am in all Made in Nigeria only. That's what I'm doing. To do is that we should all show a little more patriotism. We should show a little more patriotism. Producers are here. When I come back, I'll tell you a little story of Innocent Factory, but you are going to see it on the clips I'm going to show to you. Many Nigerians are working to keep this country going. If you look at all the money we wasted, today the threat to the nation as shown by the Minister of Defense, none of it came from armies of foreign countries attacking Nigeria. All the insurgencies, the money we have wasted, the engagement of our armed forces has been to contain the irresponsible conduct of our citizens. So why, if we all behave well, this country will grow double digits and this president will take you to new grounds. Thank you for your attention.